A picture is worth 1,000 words and a web story is worth 10,000. So let's check out 10 fantastic stories together to get you on the right track. And yes, I'm saving the best one for last. Look, the same way that makes the best videos those that just wouldn't work as a blog post, there are similarly topics that work much better as a web story. Just look at that cover. That cover slaps. Not only does the story turn it to 11 from page 1, through the smart use of video and a super streamlined font, it's also a great example of a responsive story. That is, a story that works just as well on tablets and desktop as on mobile. This story is completely bonkers to look at, and it's a great example where the media carries the story, not the text. But why not just do a video, you ask? Well, the same content as a video would be impossible to consume when you're on your phone, but not in a position to turn up the volume. This is a great alternative. A typical recipe blog post doesn't convey the aspect of cooking well, and most videos are too stressful as you can't easily skip or pause at the right moments. This story here solves both problems with an ultra-relatable chef that calmly walks us through the process of making Japanese curry at the pace that works for you.
Is kind of the perfect solution for that. So right now we're just going to chop a ton of onions.
Of course, the educational skip video technique works not just for recipes. It's also great for edutainment stories that a user would want to consume at their own pace.
Designing a new note can take several years and multiple hands.
Stories can be a great format to present shoppable listicles, like the summer reading list featuring 10 Black authored books. Other than the many terribly slow ad-blasted full-page slideshows on the web, this story is extremely accessible and pleasant to consume.
We're co-owners of Mama Rock's Burgers. We make gourmet burgers and they're all influenced by cuisines from all across Africa.
This story does a whole lot of things right. First, it utilizes background music to great effect, making it very lifestyle-y. Then it simultaneously zooms in on the subjects and the food. Web stories are great for portraits like this. Stories aren't just useful for lifestyle topics, of course. Here's a science story presented in a very engaging way. The cover page gets me hooked immediately by asking me to participate, which makes the reveal and subsequent explanation even more satisfying. Beautiful. Quiz time. What's better than tricking a teenager? Tricking a teenager and teaching them something. This story about Salvador Dali uses psychedelic visuals, modern text highlighting, formatting, and animations to teach art history in a surprisingly accessible way. Awesome. Not all stories need flashy animations, illustrations, or even video. Sometimes it's enough to pick a classic typography style and let the content breathe and speak for itself. This story by Lonely Planet demonstrates this beautifully, utilizing only subtle Ken Burns animations to immerse the reader. And finally, my favorite story of the bunch. Just look at the whimsical illustration with its wiggly lines. Right from the cover, this story understands me. It's instantly relatable not just because of the excellent illustration, but because the story is about me. It's not called How to Deal with Nighttime Anxiety. It tells me how I deal with nighttime anxiety. It starts with a reader question, then continues with bite-sized, easy-to-grasp quotes from an authoritative subject expert, and finally ends with a strong call to action on where to find more. 10/10 would read again. And there you have it. Just looking at a bunch of great web stories really helped me anchor my expectations and creative approach, and I hope it did the same to you. Of course, there are many more great examples out there in the wild, and if you're interested in seeing more, you should follow us on Instagram or Twitter to get your weekly dose of inspiration. And if you yourself made a great story, tell me in the comments below. Onwards.